We are live. Welcome to my thoughts on The Bear, Season 4, Episode 1, Groundhogs. The episode is rated TVMA, so will this video be? There will be spoilers for the episode and all the ones leading up to it. Another episode I love. Let's dive right in. So, yeah, they all read the review and kind of act like someone fucking died or something. Yeah. Which, I mean, I can understand why they were not super happy with the review. And it's not really criticism. I think it's it's a good running gag that everyone's like, are you okay? Because it's like, if you need to talk, I'm here. Let's see. I think, yeah, good opening bit with them talking and, Mike making comments about the food. And, he has to break the news, so it didn't work out. What? Daredevil Season 2, it just ended up kind of a mess. Still pretty fond of that season, but yeah. And the, let's see, yeah, them talking about their father and, yeah, what restaurants mean to people and such. And yeah, the fact that, once he, he Carmi wasn't going to ask, how did you not see this coming? He legit was just going to ask, did you really care about this? Like, was this something that, and that is a good question to ask in that circumstance. It's the greatest teacher failure is. And yeah, when something goes wrong, try to find out, what happened, what can you do better next time, that sort of thing. And let's see. Yeah, it's just Mike's insecurity saying, I know what you're going to say. No, you don't know what he's going to say. And like, maybe with Richie, Carmi would say something like that. But yeah, I don't really get the sense that he'd say something to Mike that was that, like, yeah, it's not particularly helpful, it's kind of just petty and gloaty bullshit. So yeah, I don't know, it doesn't really strike me as how Carmi talks to Mike in any of the scenes we've seen. Let's see, the yeah, very effective use of Groundhog Day. Love that it genuinely, yeah, right away, almost immediately, one of the first things we see in the episode is some of Groundhog Day, and yeah, we have that thing about, yeah, it feels like no matter what they do, it just doesn't get, it never gets any easier. And yeah, sometimes I'm a real mark for, it's a simple thing, but I really dug when, as I often do, got quite the shovel for it, when in the movie, let's see, I Got You Babe, I want to say it's called, plays, and then Carmi wakes up with a jolt. That was a great bit of, yeah, drawing a connection between, yeah, he is Phil something, I want to say. Is that his name in the Bill Murray character in Groundhog Day. And let's see, yeah. Oh, right, and also very early we have Sydney waking. Actually, I guess that was the very first thing. Sydney waking up from a dream about cold and snow, I guess. Yeah, that might mean something. Like, possibly just, maybe she needs to wear socks to bed? I don't know. Yeah, I'm just saying, every single time I've had a nightmare about, like, ooh, it's so cold, I wake up and, oh, no covers on. That explains a lot. Yeah, let's see. That brings us to, yeah, I like Harvey, throwing out the paper and then taking it back and putting it on, putting on the thing and right, and he texts he texts Mikey when there's something, you were right about Claire Bear. I found out the name of the restaurant. I found the tomato cans. Just yeah. Um, you know, I feel like I've talked about grief a lot on this channel recently, but it just keeps coming up in different stuff I talk about, in videos. Right now, I'm not like actively seeking it out. It just, yeah. Um, there are a lot of different ways to grieve. And I honestly consider doing like a fake out joke of like, oh, but if you do that one, you're messed up. No, it's, that's a perfectly healthy way to grieve. Let's see. Just, if you get an answer, that's a reason to be concerned. Should I watch that movie a third time? I loved it both of the times I watched it. Yeah. I've talked about it on the channel. If you know, you know. Anyway, let's see uh, right, yes. Carmi arrives and does the sign and sits like, you're gonna have to be more specific than that. And yeah, they talk about dysfunction and he's like, I don't actually like dysfunction. I'm a fan of function. It's the dis that's I diss the dis. And yeah, she's like, well, what do you like? If they were like a couple, I feel like that might be like her fishing for a compliment or something, which is not a bad thing, and something both men and women do. It can be a perfectly healthy part of a relationship. But yeah, he's like, no, I like this, and she's like, that was the most depressing way to say that you could possibly have done. And he's like, well, that knocked the air out of me. And she's like, well, you don't need it. What, air? You think that's air you're breathing now? And yeah, you know, I'm trying to be better. Maybe you should just be less miserable. I mean, that would be better, undeniably. I really hope this season sees him treat her better. Really let her in on the menu changes and such decisions for the yeah. Yeah, at one point in the episode, yeah, the guy's calling. She checks the phone. It says, Shapiro, and like I know, like the textual explanation is that she's just not sure what to say to him, so that's why she's not answering. I feel like there's some small percentage chance that she's like, could this be Ben? Because I really don't want to talk. Or Hannah, she can be Hannah full. Let's see. That brings us to. So yeah. I forget exactly where it goes, so I'll just put it here. But yeah, the conversation, the thing. So how did it go with the bear? The review was bad and kicked me in the nards. No, I mean our daughter wanted to buy a bear apparently, and he's like, look, I'm sorry, but I had to lay down the law. I just don't think that she's old enough to be responsible for a living animal. Oh, you mean the stuffed animal? It was like $100 and I don't know, maybe you guys are giving her really expensive gifts. I just try to, what did he say? Try to foster a sense of independence, same as at my job. And, she's like, Richard, she's 7. Oh, I gotta take this call. Yeah. Let's see. I think that might more or less bring us to yeah. So Unc J and Unc Computer show up, and then yeah, Sugar on the phone, and yeah, they, I don't think you know what's going on because he brought a prop. And yeah, the thing about, what did they, yeah, some number of hours, and Karm thinks that's 3 months. Everybody else is like, that's 2 months. And he's like, well, I thought we had 9 months. 8. Oh, fuck. So that leaves a difference of, and at this point, Karma's like, I've been burned twice. I'm not. No, no, no. One of you go, because I cannot do math, evidently. Um, yeah, and yeah, that's a pretty effective way to set some stakes. That was like Unk Computer came just short of saying, it's the start of a new season. We need like a new mission for you guys to accomplish by the end of the season. So, you're welcome, I guess. And the thing with, Chucky comes in, he's like, so, there's a computer outside. I don't want to alarm you, but it does have a gun. I have called Tom Selleck. I'm just saying, take cover. Um, But no, yeah, he's like, just don't anybody get upset when there's a computer outside. It worked for Rocky 4. I don't know what your problem is. And, computer is like, I'm going to hit him. Can I hit him? And then it's like, no, it came free with the delivery app. Good man. That's good, And yeah, that does make sense. So like I'm thinking that's just for the sandwiches probably because like I feel like the other dishes probably take some of the magic out if they're not being served in a restaurant. But yeah, the sandwiches makes perfect sense. That was also a clever, Ibrahim sitting and filling out the form, and him and Tina. I instead of listing, I'm just gonna say I love every character on this show. Great to see some Pete. Still the character I most relate to, whether I like it or not. And yeah, hugs from behind is like, maybe if you stare for it for just one more minute and then we can throw it out. Because yeah, like it's not healthy to keep like the words on the page are not going to change. It's better for you to like process it away from just staring at it. And let's see. Yeah, also when Nat just angrily hangs up from the yeah. And uh yeah, Richie comes in with Neil, and apparently they practiced, they rehearsed, and yeah, Richie really trying to, and yeah, I mean, I don't I don't think any of them are like terrible. They're doing their best, but I think the fact that he did not realize that the same person came 3 times, that might be a slight oversight. And it's probably, it's it's the dysfunction. It's they're trying to do too much all at once. But yeah, and he's still using the couples counseling therapy speak. May I speak briefly? I've done a lot of work on myself, and and of course Karm has to interrupt. Like, dude, just let him finish talking. And yeah, Richie calls it out. There you go, martyr Karm as always, and they start shouting and saying fuck you. Not quite as much as the season 3 opener. I feel, was this like trying to troll people who maybe didn't think that it was fun? I thought it was very funny, but I don't need him doing it 2 seasons in a row. But yeah, and the thing with yeah, I heard some people and they're like, what, this is what I'm talking about, what the fuck? And he's like, well, I had to replace the ones that quit, and like nobody, several of the characters don't remember the ones that quit. I don't blame them for quitting. Like, it seems, yeah. But Neil is talking about, like, oh, that was okay. That one was really nice to me. That is 100% how he would, yeah. Um, yeah, and he says, yeah, hired some people, non-negotiables, and yeah, it's the three from the other restaurant, the one that shut down. They had a funeral for it and everything, and yeah, I do think that is really good. You know that it accomplishes several things for this season. It increases their chances of getting a star, and that is, like they said, that's how to solve this. If they can get a star within 2 months, that drastically improves their chances of this being more than a holy parachute. And other than that, it I feel like it can help change up the dynamic, which I'm not saying that I dislike the dynamic. I do think, start of the fourth season, good idea to change up the dynamic. They have not changed the main cast of if we're talking about the people who consistently work at the Bear. Yeah, hasn't changed significantly in the first 3 seasons. So good idea to bring in these this group of this trio who have a different vibe. They all have the same goal, but these three have significantly more experience at this sort of thing than any of the like several of the Bear crew are like good at what they do, but they're not used to this level, this intensity, these sorts of things. So yeah, and when I say this level, I mean like the fact that they're now making this like fancy food where they used to make real food. And let's see. I'm just saying, if I pay for a meal, I don't want avant bullshit. I want something where I actually leave thinking, that was actually a full meal. I feel full. Still love the show. I don't frequent places that, like the Bear in real life. And I never will. Let's see. Right. Yeah, the flour budget was also, yeah. And poor Nat having to deal with that whilst taking care of the baby. And also the infant that she recently gave birth to. Yeah, really solid. The last several minutes of the episode are just this montage of time passing, and clever with the good visual storytelling with red is bad, green is good. See, you're catching on. And yeah, some of the time it's mostly green, sometimes it's mostly red, and Tina working on improving her. It was like it has to be 3 minutes, and we see, and it's 5, so that's almost twice as long. So I don't blame her. I'm not saying that, but yeah, it's an effective. That's something they can keep going back to over following up. All right, I realized I didn't say at the start of this video. I believe there's at least some more episodes. I haven't looked, but I believe there's more episodes out. Right now I'm only watching one at a time and then doing a video. Yeah, I'll watch one, do a video, and then some days later watch one, do a video. When I do a video on one of these, I haven't watched past the one. I don't really do that much anymore, even though I know I used to. Let's see. That brings us to the Actually, that might cover everything. Yeah, really looking forward to more episodes. Right now, it's probably going to be, let's see. Next week, I'm also thinking just one, well, let's see. Give me a second. For this week and then the next week. Yeah, I think next week will also just be one episode. And after that, it'll probably be multiple per week. Maybe as much as 3, we'll see. But right now there's also Ironheart and, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And soon I'll get back to The Walking Dead. Anyway, let's see. There is... Yeah, I think... Yeah, does that cover everything? Oh, I quite liked the part where... Yeah, Marcus accidentally pushes one of the Zerts over, and Tina catches it just in time. Very nicely done. Yeah, I think that covers... Can I just say I'm really relieved that Richie didn't go and hire, yeah, Joel McHale, the asshole, playing an asshole. Listen, I sometimes find him hilarious. If we're being honest, he's been an asshole at times. Possibly not recently, but I very recently, there was a video. Shit, I can never fucking remember who makes these videos. I watch so many really, really excellent YouTubers. It was someone talking about like weight, a relationship with like, yeah, and there was a clip of like Joel McHale being an asshole about Britney Spears' weight. Like, at a time when she looked fine. There was nothing wrong with her, yeah. Yeah, I think that covers everything. So, the trio introduce, multiple timers and such. Yeah. Fuck, I knew that like American media loved the ticking clock, but I feel like this is taking over. It's like getting to a pretty ridiculous place.